adjust your screen camera a little. Yeah, it's
Yes,
fine,
yes.
ma'am. Much better. Much better. So thank you so much to everyone who have joined us today. Very, very warm welcome to our webinar. Another very exciting topic that we've brought for all our participants, especially for our student community, the educational institutions, the parents, the industry professionals. We have two very distinguished speakers who have joined us today to talk about this very insightful and interesting topic. And we are super excited to have them today. On that note, very warm welcome to both of you. And I would request my colleague Neha Kapoor to please, start the webinar and open the discussion.
Thank you, Mikla. A very warm welcome to each one of you. A very good morning. GHRDC welcomes you to today's webinar titled AI Replaces Human. AI does not replace humans. Rather, AI plus humans is equivalent to limitless potential. Thank you everyone for taking out time and joining in with us today. We are very delighted to have with us experts from industry and academia for the discussion. On behalf of GHRDC team, I welcome our expert panel members. GHRDC, as many of you would be aware, is a 28 years old education research firm dedicatedly working in the education sector in the area of ranking, training, mentoring, and research with the sole aim of working on upgrading the quality of education in various sectors and benchmarking the best of the educational institutions in our country. Today's discussion will revolve around the above topic and to highlight a powerful shift in how we are viewing technology currently. Instead of fearing that artificial intelligence will replace humans, the idea emphasizes collaboration. AI can handle repetitive tasks, analyze massive data, and improve efficiency, while humans bring creativity, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and ethical judgment. When combined, AI and humans complement each other, leading to smarter decisions, faster innovation, and better outcomes across industries. We will now be inviting our distinguished speakers to talk about this very exciting topic. Also, I would request our wonderful attendees to type in any questions if you have for our speakers in the chat box given along with the name of the speaker you want to address your question to. Now, I would like our director and ranking head, Ms. Aradhana Changakoti, to introduce our eminent speakers for today. Over to you, Aradhana.
Thank you, Neha. Good morning, everyone. I will now read out the profiles of our eminent speakers for today. Dr. Dipti Mehrotra. Dipti Mehrotra is a distinguished academician and researcher, currently serving as Dean, Accreditation, Ranking and Quality Assurance, and Professor at JP Institute of Information Technology, Noida. She earned her PhD from Lucknow University and brings with her over 25 years of rich experience in teaching, research, and academic leadership. Throughout her career, Professor Mehrotra has held several key administrative positions, including Deputy Director of Academics at Amity University and Director at ASCS, where she played a pivotal role in strengthening academic frameworks, quality standards, and institutional growth. Her expertise lies in machine learning and artificial intelligence, and she has made significant contributions to these domains through her extensive research work. She has an impressive publication record with over 230 research papers published in reputed international journals and conference proceedings. A committed research mentor, she has successfully guided 17 doctoral scholars to completion, contributing meaningfully to the advancement of knowledge and innovation in her field. In recognition of her scholarly impact, Professor Mehrotra has been listed among the top 2% of scientists worldwide in the AD Scientific Index. Her dedication to academic excellence, research innovation, and quality assurance continues to inspire students, researchers, and institutions alike. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Anji.
Prince Kumar, he is an engineering leader with over 14 years of experience in building and scaling large-scale platforms and consumer systems across e-commerce, fintech, logistics, and travel technology. Currently at Flipkart, he leads order management systems, channels, and customer communication platforms, enabling seamless operations for multiple brands at national scale, including Flipkart, Myntra, ClearTip, and eCart. Prince brings deep expertise in platform architecture, distributed systems, and event-driven design, and combined with a strong focus on business impact. He has successfully led organizational scaling efforts, building and mentoring high-performing teams of 40 plus engineers while driving initiatives that significantly improve systems reliability, residue operational cost, and accelerate product delivery. His leadership has resulted in measurable outcomes such as reduced production outages, improved latency, faster feature rollouts, and substantial cost savings. Prior to Flipkart, Prince held key leadership roles at Neo, Walmart Labs, Sears, and Core AI, where he built and scaled global platforms serving millions of users across multiple geographies. His contributions include re-architecting order management systems, launching neobanking platforms, and developing innovative customer engagement solutions. An active contributor to the tech ecosystem, Prince has spoken at prominent forums such as AWS Summit, Apple WWDC, and the Dev Fest India. He is also a patent holder and serves as an advisor to emerging startups, bringing his expertise to help shape the next generation of technology platforms. Welcome to our webinar, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
And we have Meghla Sinha, the Executive Director of GHRDC, who will now be acting as a moderator for the discussion today. With this, I request Meghla to now take over and initiate the panel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aradhana. Once again, a very, very warm welcome to both our distinguished speakers. We are most excited to have both of you. And like Aradhana was reading out, both of you come from a background of wealth of experience and knowledge. And we are really looking forward to your insights. The topic that we have chosen today is a very interesting and very, very relatable topic, not just for the student community of engineering, but for BCA, MCA, and various other technical roles. In fact, not just for the technical roles, even for the non-technical courses, because AI is something that we are not going to be able to live without very shortly. But we chose a very interesting topic today where we said that AI does not replace humans, but it is something which, if comes together with humans, it leads to limitless potential. And that's the narrative that we've been hearing ever since, AI has taken over, that, there's a lot of fear factor that jobs will get replaced and things will move and, people are getting insecure. And I thought that there couldn't have been a better topic to talk about this, not as a replacement, but as a collaborative approach. And therefore, we felt that both of you will be able to really put in your knowledge to good use to our student community who have joined us. As you can see, we are a house full today, and this webinar will be telecasted live on our YouTube channel. So we will be also having students and faculty, institution, and industry professionals who are attending this. So I would start with my very first question. In fact, my very first question is to Dr. Mehrotra, Deepti ma'am. And ma'am, I wanted to ask you a very interesting question. When we talk about AI, or when we talk about any kind of technology platform taking over in the current era, what we have usually seen is that various other skills have gained lesser importance, and somehow technology and AI is all that we are talking about, and technical skills are all that we are talking about. But things like creativity, or things like critical thinking, or emotional intelligence, where do these skills come into play, and how important is it for students to work on some of these aspects, is something that I would like you to throw some light on. I hope ma'am is there.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
hear me, Meghla?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And I must really congratulate the GHRDC for conducting this webinar. And we really think that it is not one intelligence, it is what we can say is an augmented intelligence, where we can converge with the skills of computing, which is of like pattern recognition, if I talk in the technical terms, or we can say the computational speed that we have gained today, and coming up with the quantum, we may have even better speeds with us in the future. And the way we are generating the things, that is generative scaling, that AI has given, has really I may say, paradigm shift in the technology over there. But yes, we have to understand that this has to be augmented with the human intelligence and context and empathy. That is one thing which is very important when we talk about the things, because AI can. I always say this to all my students also when I'm teaching them AI. See, when you are talking with respect to human, it may be correct for me, it may be wrong for you. So everyone has their own perspective, everyone has their own way of judging the things, and humans are like that only. There's nothing we can say this is a uniform statement that can be applicable to everywhere. So, in which context we are referring to it makes a difference, huge difference over there. So, understanding the context, even I can say AI is understanding the context and is generating the, if I talk about LMN and if I give them information, it understands my context, but the level of understanding that what other person is expecting as a human can do, I don't think AI can do. So I think that is very important. And then there's another thing is strategic visions, which are there with the human. Human can strategize the things and they can view the different perspective of the things, moral judgments. So these are certain things which are very much important and they need to be augmented with the AI. As far as you were taking about the critical, you are talking about the creativity, critical thinking, and empathy, definitely. It is things which need to be there. Emotional intelligence has to be a factor over here, because at the end of the day, whatever product we are making for the humans. So, understanding what humans are expecting, because now we are going to, AI is interweaving in almost all domains. Say you medical, say you law, you say farming, you say farm, any domain you say, and AI is coming inside. So, understanding everybody's need. So, we need a person who can really understand it. So just rather than making a technical wizards, we need persons who can understand and really, uh, I can say, customize the AI solutions as per the need. So when we say that we are giving a solution, uh, at different levels, the solution need to be little modified. If I'm making a farming solution, it may be different requirements, different agricultural situations in Punjab as compared to Bengal. So we need to customize those things. A human can understand more about the overall perspective of the environment, and he can really give a better things to the system, so that system can develop a better solution. So yes, I understand that. Yes, critical thinking, because human can see various factors, he can see personal factors, he can see emotional factors. He have huge vast experiences with him, and he can I may say, moderate the situation in a better manner. So that is there. And as far as emotional thinkings are considered, we understand that there's a lot of creative contents coming with AI. I can see a lot of videos, images coming in the social medias, and they are really capturing the emotions very well. Also, the faces and other things are coming, but the level of empathy which is there is the where the humans are the still the holders. So I think that when the students are learning, it cannot be a very only a hardcore technical thing. It need to be a more holistic thing, which they where they can understand the complete dimensions of the problem. So this is what I want to suggest to the students. Thank you, Mikla, for the
Right,
question.
right, ma'am. Very, very well said, ma'am. So, to summarize on behalf of what ma'am spoke, is basically what she's saying, that the humanistic aspect or the human touch is what is crucial as far as this whole era of AI and technology is concerned, in which she spoke about empathy, compassion. She spoke about, having a strategic thinking mindset. And of course, she touched upon the topic of morality. And we will delve more into this deeply in today's discussion, because this is a very important thing that we need to also talk about. My next question is to you, Prince. When we talk about the kind of skills and jobs that are likely to get automated. We would like to understand from you, because you come from an experience and a hardcore knowledge of AI, working on this day in day out, even at your current company and in your previous employment. And according to you, what are the kind of jobs that will get automated, and what skill sets will really assume highest importance as far as this whole era of AI enabled workplace is concerned? In other words, our topic, which is AI plus human is equal to limitless potential. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you so much, Mekla ma'am, for organizing this. This is one of the platform which definitely helps us and our student community to engage and learn better. And it's a pleasure to share the stage with Dipti ma'am. Uh, Coming to, you know, every single time, like every generation, not just us in 2026, but even 30 years down the line, 30 years ago also, the same question. Every generation fears technology, and they all feel that, technology is going to replace them. But if you look at the history trends, it shows something different. Technology doesn't replace humans, it definitely redefines what is going to be more valuable. And if I have to say, like, if AI can write code, design, answer your questions, and do some of the tasks that humans were supposed to do so far, where do humans stand? What do we do now? So the answer to this question is not behind AI, but alongside it. You know. Definitely, the real shift is not AI replacing humans. It's AI replacing your task. And over the period of time, you will see that, every single time we have automated something, we have find out a way to evolve around it, right? So back in 90s, when the first version of computer programming launched, some of the hardcore frameworks that came to us, for example, Java and all, we were scared that, hey, what will happen to the core programming languages that we used to learn? And you will see that over the long run of next almost 40 years now, most of the things have already got automated. AI is another daemon that is going to be even more powerful, and it will do all the tasks which are repetitive in nature, which are very rule based. Tasks like data entry, customer support, QA, predictable analytical work, okay? Basic reporting, you can see, financial analysis, very low context decision making roles. And that is not getting replaced. This has been replaced. Like in our day in, day out life that we meet, you might have been using WhatsApp, for example. You see everything that is coming there, you see a tone of AI coming in your life. So these are the roles which will definitely get, replaced. And when we say replaced, there will be new roles that will evolve around it also. Okay? Jobs which will need more time to evolve or probably have a fair round of understanding could be like high empathy, human interactions, leadership, like, coaching for that matter, coaching for a matter of billions of possibilities that a human can have. You can write a code which runs in a framework, which is very mathematical in nature, but you can't predict a human, philosophy, psychology. So their critical thinking, their product thinking, their design, their innovation, their ambiguous problem solving that you see, that will never get replaced. And that is where we have to come together and say that, hey, these are the roles that will start to evolve, and these are the roles that will not vanish, but there will be new definition of these roles altogether. And you will see that few of, skills will become even more important. For example, problem framing. It's not just solving. Critical thinking, the kind of judgment that you make, how do you use all the context, the knowledge that you have to take a decision. Decision could be personal, professional, in day out life that you do, right? Making the right choice, which college to choose, for example, which degree to pursue, which profession to pursue. These are will be very core to you, which will be very core to you in terms of what excites you, what kind of problem solver are you, what kind of storytelling that you want to leave as a legacy to your world, right? So those kind of roles in terms of the, will be very important, and engineers will start to use co-pilots. It will make you 10x, creating prototype. It will Product managers will start to use AI to write strong priority, good quality PRs. Engineers will start to write code that has never been written in the last like 40 years, 50 years for that matter. Agents will start to write code for you. So you will use these kind of tools along with you to become even more efficient. So it's not that it's replacing you. It's another tool given to you so that you become even more efficient and you start thinking and solving problems which you have not been able to solve so far. I think that's my take on it's not going to replace engineers. It replaces engineers and people who are not going to use AI. So I think that is how I'm going to frame around the skills and the jobs that AI is going to replace.
Very well said. Very well said. I think one or two things that really stood out in what you spoke was that we had been talking about problem solving and decision making as a very constant benefit of using AI and technology enabled tools. But you used a new term today, which is problem framing. And even that, I think, is a very, very innovative and unique way of looking at this whole space. Because, whenever we are getting into some kind of a new work, we have to understand what the problem is. We have to understand what is the kind of challenge that industry is facing and then accordingly work on it. So I think that statement is a very interesting one. And the second thing that you are saying is a very reassuring statement from your end, Prince, for our students, for all that who are involved in this, that the jobs are getting replaced only for those who are not using it, but rather they are going to, the other jobs are going to get evolved. They're going to get more tech enabled. So in other words, I think what we can safely say is that we're all going to have a technical buddy,
Yeah.
right? A tech buddy who
Yeah.
will be helping us, who will be assisting us, who will be making our lives more easier, increasing efficiency by 10x times and stuff like that. I think that is what you are basically hinting at. I think that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mithila.
Dr. Mehrotra, over to you for a very important topic and question. Again, when we talk about AI and technical skills and machine learning and various other aspects, Internet of Things, and all sorts of other technical tools and skill sets and courses, there is an era that we are now coming very closely engaging with, where just a course in AI or engineering or computer applications is not enough. Now we are looking at a time where interdisciplinary learning is becoming more powerful and important than ever before. So whether it is health, technology related course plus law or plus psychology or plus management or plus some other area. I think that is becoming a very interesting combination that we are looking at. Like Prince said, new roles will be emerging, new areas will be coming up. So, keeping these things in mind, what is your take on interdisciplinary learning, and what would your advice be to the students who are watching this today to complement their courses with something, apart from their technical courses, something that will really help them in the future?
Yeah, thank you, Megha. And I think that is a question that need to be taken up for all the branches and all the streams. So as the Prince was also saying, when the computer came and automation came inside the picture, so there was a lot of worries over there that how it will be taking place. And then I think computer literacy has become an important component for all the subjects, which is we are taking from the school to the higher education. So every subject has a computer literacy with them, and the computer students are able to use the computers. Even I can say that even those who are not very literate are now able to handle the computers. Are very user friendly, notations are now there and they can use it. So the same shift is now going to happen with the AI. The way we adapted the computer technologies, we have to adapt with the AI technologies. The way they are being incorporated, like if I say that in case of governance, in case of laws and other things, definitely there's a human factor inside. If I say medical also, getting a trust on a doctor is something which, as a patient, you feel that you need the trust over it. If I say that AI can replace it, no, AI cannot replace that trust. Gaining that trust, the doctor has worked so hard over it, and he has really addressed your all problems in the background. That's why you have a trust on our doctors. So similarly, if I say it is a criminal case, or if it is a case where we need a there may be some psychological involvement over there. So we cannot say that AI can really go ahead. But the way it is assisting the systems is something we cannot neglect over it. If I'm saying that now we have automated everything, so we have a huge amount of data. Implementing the transparencies in the system, implementing the AI system, which can be an control over there, which can really control the make the system more transparent. We make the governance in such a manner that wherever there is some thing, AI can give me an alert and I can really work on that. So if I have cameras everywhere and if I see something tricky going on and AI gives me an alert and I can assist, I can provide the assistance over there. That is a wonderful thing. I think that can be happen to the humanities. So, but then the thing is that now when, as I told you, that as we have adapted for the computers in our education system, I think everyone has been like doctors right now are using more of computer than anybody else is. So they are maintaining the whole records of the patients. They, when you go back, they do not need that big file with them. They just go through and they uh, merge over it and they can come up with the results. So what I'm saying is that whether it is a medical line, the way AI can really help in diagnostic is a wonderful thing that has been proved already. So till it is a diagnostic things, the images we are getting now, we have such a good technologies with us in the so we can get best of the MRIs and other things. The noise decancellation and other technical aspects of it has been improved a lot over there. So yes, I can get a better diagnosis which can be done with the AI, but that human touch has to be there. So we need to, I'm just repeating the same thing. The way we trained everyone with the systems of computers, we have to get the training. And it's not only interdisciplinary. What I say today is a transdisciplinary thing that we need to focus on. It is only not one dimension of the things. It need to have a multiple dimensions, because right now what we are focusing as an academician, as a things, is a complex problems, those which are not been solved earlier. The basic things we have done, now we are coming to the more complex, so they have multiple facets. So when we want to optimize any solution over there, so we need to consider all the factors over there. So when we are considering all the factors, we need a persons who are specialized with not only one domain but of other domains, and they can work together. So that is one thing which is there. And as far as creativity and other things are considered, I may say that computers, what they are doing, they are recognizing the patterns and they are generating the information. So the generation is on the past thing, but the innovation or the gut things that human has, the way the human can create something really novel which is not existing earlier, is one thing where humans have to, like if I say AI can generate an image, AI can make a drawing, it can do anything which you say, can do it. But the thing is, it is based on the previous data and it uses previous data to generate a new data. This is how AI is working. But what a human can do is he can create something exactly new, which does not existed even before. So that is a skill which need to be incorporated and used by the experts and the domains, and that can be a more win-win situation for everyone. So it will really
Right.
ease out the jobs. It will like in say, I say may say lawyers or governance, government governance is considered. Now since we are putting up cameras everywhere, we can monitor it and AI can give a trigger that there's something wrong going on based on its past experience, that something is fishy. And instead of sending putting police everywhere, we can really monitor the things in a more efficient manner. So that can be a assistance over there. So it can be used as an assistance for the domains, and so we should learn how to use it. not exact hardcore coding is required. It is more of what I say is a prompting is required. So as he said that we should be able to analyze the problem, frame the questions that my AI can help me to solve the problems. So how you frame it, how you prompt the AI is the way you can really use it. So it is a usage tool like any other tool, any other technology. We have to adapt with that. That is what I want to say over it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I think what you're saying in short is that this is almost like a foundational aspect that we are now living with. So almost like English communication skills, mathematics, science, these are foundational aspects of our lives as students. So we need to consider AI and tech tools as a foundational concept now, along with what we are doing, whether it is medical, whether it is law, whether it is management, or any other thing that we are doing. And you gave a beautiful example of the medical science sector, of how even they are integrating it beautifully in the way they are diagnosing patients, taking care of their data, and of course working with various other aspects of medical science. So I think that is a very clearly assumed fact now, that we don't have to look at it as something additional but something as mandatory, and keep working on various other interdisciplinary, and you gave a beautiful term today, transdisciplinary, which is looking at multiple learnings and courses that we can do as a student, and keep learning and evolving. Prince, my next question is a $1 million question to you, actually. And this is a question that we are asked most often by the student community. And this is a question based on the skill sets and learning experiences of coding students specifically. So this is a very specific question. This is not just from engineering students, but also from computer application students who are doing various kinds of coding language courses and stuff like that. When they go for their jobs and internships and life projects to the industry, what kind of experience and what kind of skill set and knowledge should they work on while they're in college, so that when they actually go for their interaction with the industry, they're able to proudly say that, yes, I have worked alongside AI as an assistive tool in so many ways, and I have learned from it in so many ways, instead of trying to defend themselves. So how should they build that narrative and work on those skill sets and courses while they're in college, and what kind of experiences should they gain?
A very beautiful question. I think in a world where everybody is using AI, there is a AI bus running, right? And we have framed ourselves that if you don't catch this bus, you are left behind. And there is already a narrative running around that you are lagging behind. So you have to catch up with this, which is not true. It's never true. This is another technology evolution, and it's good for humans. It's good for us, right? And even before I get into the second part of the question, in 90s, if somebody would have told you, you can talk to somebody who is in a different part of the world, you can see them live on a camera, and you can talk to them, probably nobody would have believed it, right? No, this is just a science fiction, and there were movies around it. Like, people used to have magical spheres where they used to run their hands and say that, hey, this is what is they are doing. This is true wrong. Just 40 years, right? Another 40
I
years.
remember when Skype came in. Now Skype is nowhere, but when Skype came in, it was really a revolution, and very few people had the means to use it and stuff like that, because it was considered to be something premium. But this is now very normal for us day to day.
Another example, ATMs, right? Everybody now uses ATM, but 90s, like ICICI, I recall it came somewhere in 97, 98. This was first of its kind. You go to a machine gives you the money, and we were like, it will never work because they will cheat, they will fraud, they will take it away. Right now, I don't know how many people actually has the cash the last time to do something. In a digital world of a metro, probably everything is getting done offline, right? Everything is online, my bad. So digital currency becomes another concept today, right? RBI is launching it. It's a government mandate. UPIs are like phenomenal. So if I have to look at, it coaches you, it does the right coding for you, it It's a AI driven economy that we are living in today. But nothing can replace the kind of, the skills along with the differentiator factors that our student can have is the curiosity, asking a strong and a better question that AI answers for you. The judgment, where AI can go wrong, what I do in this one. And to understand that AI is wrong, you need to have entire context out of it. Like what is the business, what is the user, what is the tech. You massage all of them together, create a recipe so that you know what you are building for. It's not just another tech skills, it's not just coding that you code, you deploy to production, and you say, I am out of this business. It can't work like that. Collaboration, working across humans, working along with machines, working along with agents, working along with, prompts. This is going to be the new engineering's roles that is going to come out pretty soon. And for that matter, it has already came out. Everybody is learning around this. So for my advice to the student would be, you just don't so that, hey, I have used AI. You have to get into the depth of not just writing code from scratch, but maybe you start build an app, right? Build an app right from scratch. Use all the code from AI generated code. Like your mission should be, I don't write code in this one. All I give is the right prompt. I give them the right context. I give them the all the information that this machine needs to build that app for me. Then you take the trade-off, you explain the trade-off, you understand how you can debug this code if something goes wrong in the future. You understand the blast radius, you understand the validation with the real users. If you are able to reach that stage, you would be able to understand how you are leveraging AI as another assistant who is writing code for you, and you are taking decisions which are more critical for you to run those decisions. And that's where I think now the engineer's value is not just in writing code. It's d- it's it's lies in deciding what should be built, why it should be built, for whom it should be built, and how we can scale it tomorrow to the millions of the user, if for that matter it comes. So I think the core differentiator for me would be the kind of curiosity, your ethical learning, your judgment, your context understanding, and the kind of collaboration that you do with the machines. I think that's where I will leave it for my students.
Wonderful. So, what you're basically advising to the students is to really get their hands dirty into the ground and start working with the basics from the scratch and really get to understand this whole matrix right from ground zero. And what you're telling them basically and essentially is that work with all of these areas, experiment, be curious, ask questions, build something, work with various projects or companies or industry problem or whatever it is that they can grab their hands on and get an opportunity to work on. And if they can showcase that they have worked alongside using AI on a certain product or a problem statement or something related to their environment, then that is a very good way for them to demonstrate that they have really used the philosophy of AI plus humans.
Yeah,
I think
right. Yeah,
that's
very,
very
very well said and very narrative. Like
nice.
they have to understand the capabilities that AI provide and how you can leverage them in doing the task that is assigned to you. And then you delegate this task, and you can do that only when you have really your hands that you have rolled up your sleeve, you understand the capability, nuances, trade-off, ask, prompt, evals, data, context building around this. And only when you have done this on your own, you should be able to understand the capability it provides, the strength it has, and the gaps it has. It's not that one of the most matured software that you have with you. Probably it will be 5 years down the line, and there are already talks that it's there in the stage that agents are writing their own agents. So we are there, but to get that right, you have to start using this in the form that you are doing today. It could be for your, for academics, like Notebook LLM, for example. It does the entire thing. You just give it to them. It will give you a very summarized form of what these chapters are around, what is the context of this book, what is the key learnings from this. I think this would start doing that.
Right. And when you talk about you talked about it in a very brief point right now. When you talk about this entire space, any specific courses that you would recommend that they can do alongside what they're doing? Anything in particular that you would like to point out?
See, there are thousands of the courses that I know of. I will recommend you start some of the channels that are there on the YouTube. They are beautiful channels like AI in Action, for example. I will pin it down also for my students. AI in Action is one of the beautiful channels. Then prompt engineering is another one. Then there are system design with AI. This will help you understand how the orchestration of entire design of the engineering system that you are going to build. Then there are beautiful books written, and there are some of the beautiful white papers that people have written. But to start with, you do not get bounded by what exists today, because you are the one who are going to build the future of our country, right? So we depend on you rather than you depend on us. You understand the rule, you understand the framework, you understand the knowledge base that is there with you. Use that to build something that has not been thought through. So yes, go through all these YouTube lectures. There are plenty of them. You just have to put the right. In fact, this question also you can ask to your, AI partners. Like there are plenty of. Just ask them, hey, I am a student. I want to learn this. This is my course. This is my degree that I am pursuing. This is my strength, and this is where I want to go in the next. Can you create a detailed plan for me? And I don't want to spend any money. You can give all the details like this, or I can have like a, I'm ready to spend this much of budget on this courses. This is the time I want. This is the time I can spend. If you just give this prompt to any of the AI tools that we have today, which are public in nature, it will give you a very detailed, beautiful view of the entire plan. And that is where, your journey starts right from today. Like, where to go, where to use. You go through some of the channels, you would be much more educated and much more coached in how you are going to leverage it today. And trust me when I say this, I feel this, you won't leave these channels and the courses that you will start, and you will start deep down in entire weekend, right? 24 hours 7, that you will love so much the kind of capability it provides, and you will be amazed by it. Like, if you have not used it so far, you won't believe that is happening. Like, it will write entire application, mobile app, any app that you are using, for example, WhatsApp, YouTube, just name it, Instagram, whatever is that on your phone. You just tell it to the app prompt that, hey, build this application for me, deploy it on the web app. Another 20-25 minutes into the action, the app will be live on the web app. That is the capability it has. So I want them to, go through this cycle of learning, implementing, then learning, implementing, and then in a month of time, you will know where it also is getting wrong. Not every time you give the right prompt, the answer is right. No, it has a trade-off, and that's where the curiosity and judgment and context understanding is very important for us to know.
Right. In fact, I have one more question which has been asked by our student community. I'll talk to you about it in just a bit before we start off the discussion on that particular topic, which is on the ethical judgment and the ethical aspect of AI, because that is something which is something we need to really take care of and work with our students to understand what are the aspects or in terms of ethics and morality and usage of AI, which should be kept in mind while it's being so used rampantly. So I'll come back to you on that in just a bit. But I wanted to ask Deepti ma'am, if you were a student and you were looking back at this time and you were exactly in the place of our student community who are watching this webinar right now, what are the things that you would have focused on or you would have really worked on and said that this is what I really need to work on as a student?
Yes, Meghla, right now students are really very much like where to go, what is the right direction we can think of. There's a lot of, even those who are in schools, they are thinking which is the direction, jobs will be over with the computer science. Should we take computer science? No, jobs are only with the computer science. Should we go with the computer science? So these things are there already in the mind of the students. But if I'm a student, I must say, like if I'm in a higher education institute, what is right now required, as Prince is also saying, make your portfolio, make try and attempt and do the things which are being open to you and just explore them, gain as much you can gain out of it. So that is what is required. You need to create those portfolios. Only degrees will not going to work for you in the future. We have to understand this basic concept which is a fact of the day, is that the shell life of the technology is really very small nowadays. Today we have developed one thing, and it is becoming so much easy and so normally coming into our life, and that is and the next day we are handling and dealing with some new technology. So the technologies are shifting so fast that saying that yes, I can beat all the technologies, yeah, I can do everything is not possible today. You need to have that T-shaped concept, what we teach our students also. Expert in one, but have the wider vision for all other subjects also. Make that, you have to get that how well you understand the context, how well you present your concepts, how well you see the problems, the multiple dimensions of a problem. So every problem has a multiple facets. So we cannot get a and as I told you also, like right now, if I say all the accrediting agencies and all these government agencies are also focusing on project-based things. So you need to work on those dimensions. So when you are studying your subject, see other subjects, adapt for it, try to give a solution for that. It's not that engineer is giving solution. If I'm a mechanical engineer, I will give a solution for mechanical engineering. I will be giving a solution for the medical science also, because my tools are being used in medical experts. So how, what is their requirement? So understanding and accepting the things that is required, creating a portfolio for yourself is very much required. So I always advise every student that you should look for the another thing which I always ask my student is the what UN also is focusing on, SDG goals, that is sustainability development goals. So you should look on the problem statements which are there, which are required for humanity to sustain. So if you are giving any solution, whether it's in terms of environment, whether it is terms with respect to health, education, or any other dimensions of it, so then you are coming up with something which is everyone is needing. And if I see those who have creating the multi-dollars industries, are able to track those small things which humans are looking forward. If you say Facebook, if you say chat GPT, so they have understood the need of the human, and they have created the solutions for those platforms which humans are looking forward, and that's why they are very much acceptable, and they have been so $1 million companies are there. So I, as a student, if I'm a student, I will look in the more holistic picture of the problem. Don't just learn the things, and that is not right now required. Writing a problem statement, mugging it, and coming up and giving it into the and getting a good CGPA is not going to help anymore, because industry is dynamic. They need people who can learn. Lifelong learning is one thing which you need to understand. You cannot say that I know this much, this is what I know, and I'm going to with it. You will be thrown out of any place. Say not engineer, anyone. You have to adapt yourself. So how well you are fluid for adaptation, how well you are being prepared for understanding the human natures, how well you can understand what is the requirement of the other, then you can provide a solution to that person. So that all factors need to be there. You not just only you need to be a domain expert, you need to have a holistic picture with the problems. And I will always advise students to have a look for those SDG goals and understand what our environment is requiring, what our systems is requiring for sustainer. So if humanity has to sustain, then we have to go in line with everything so that humanity can sustain. So that is what my take over it. Thank you. I think I
Right.
have.
Right, ma'am. Absolutely. And what you're sharing is very relevant. You're asking them to create a portfolio and to really focus on some areas and decide very, in a very clear way as to what are the things that they would like to do and in which direction would they like to move, so that they're not overwhelmed and they can't do everything all at the same time. They will need to be choosy, but at the same time have a wider view and perspective of things. And I think you pointed out on the lifelong learning aspect, which I think is a very important, mindset for students to have, and Prince pointed out on curiosity. So these two together makes a very, very powerful combination for any student, irrespective of whatever sector and course they come from. We have some questions also, by the way, from our speakers and from our participants who are here on the webinar today. So we will also take them up. But before that, Prince, if you could answer on that ethical aspect, which is a very important part that I wanted you to talk about.
Sure. I think I plus one to watch Dipti ma'am was also saying ethical bias is more important than just getting it done, right? Now, since you have a tool who is getting the things done for you, how do you evaluate what is good, what is wrong? No. So this is where bias awareness becomes very, very important. Your human biases, like AI will inherit these biases, they will scale it and they will amplify it. So if this is something wrong, you think about this, this is amplified into, million times. The same goes true for the rightness also. If you are writing good quality code which scales up in production, does not harm anyone, it's another thing that everybody is getting benefited. But if you are able to, turn around this, maybe uh, write things which just screws your code for that matter. While in a way it will help you out to do the writer scrutiny, figure it out. But if it does not thought through, probably it will have a bad impact on the overall mission of this technology evaluation. And it happens every single time anything new that comes and lands to us. So I think accountability of while AI will get the task done, the AI decisions will still need human ownership. Like who we are going to own what the agents would do. The kind of transparency that we maintain. How do you explain this matters? I think that becomes a very important concept of whether do you allow this task to be done in the way it's doing, or do you want to tweak it around, right? Then the third is the data is not is equal to truth. Like while data is the while, how do you use and massage this information, juice it out so that you find out the meaningful insights of getting the right things done? So, and you will see that right now maybe hiring has a set of pattern. Probably soon the hiring will have another pattern of like hiring bias in AI. Like how do you know AI is one page, but how do you utilize AI? What kind of commands that you give? Who benefits? Like who is getting harmed? Who is getting, benefited out of it? The assumptions will be like, is ethics is optional or ethics is one of the core AI. So I think for me, in this world of AI, the responsibility as a human does not go down. In fact, it increases because now you are able to take choices which is going to amplify the result out of it. And that's where the ethical learning, the ambitions of transparency, biasness, your recognition, ownership, accountability will become way too higher in everything that you do now. So I will take a pause on this, and that's how I take on this, Meghna.
Right.
Um,
I think what you
I would
shared.
like to
Yeah.
add with the
Yes.
Prince
Please,
is
ma'am. Go
that
ahead.
yeah, because when we are talking in the terms of AI, we talk about agentic things, and that is a core domain. I don't want to go to the technicality of it, but we use a very common word as human in loop. So that is what is required to understand that whenever we are going for any AI system, we cannot lose humans. The systems are for humans, so we have to understand the totality of the picture. So always whenever we are creating anything, we should bring human in the loop, and then that can really make a system more, I think longevity the system will have more longevity because it has been designed for the humans. The systems which are not involving the human touch in it and empathy in it, so survival will not be a longer one. That is my take on it. So that's add on
Beautiful,
it.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank you to both of you for this. Neha, if you could please quickly also take up the questions by the participants, because we have two questions, I think.
Yes. The first question is for Dipti ma'am. Is AI replacing jobs, or is it changing the way in which the work is being done?
You have given the answer yourself. I must say that it is not replacing the jobs. It is just only the transforming the jobs, as we always say. So when the computer came, automation came, the people who were using the typewriters and writing the mails and doing the things, now they are working on the systems. It's very easy for us to store the records in the systems. Earlier also the system records were being stored. They were in the hard copy. There were big files and big lock rooms where the bulk of papers were there and we were searching those papers. Filing was there. Filing is in the system also. So the same way it will happen. New technologies, new dimensions will come. New problems are also coming. We have to understand it that our environment is not a static environment, that it has been created. The AI is always working with the past data. It is generative, but it has need to have some record for generation. But the new problems which are coming, like the COVID came, we were not prepared for it. Nobody was prepared. It was human who came up with the solutions, and we can really uh, at that time the computing and the automation has really assisted us. Classroom teaching and all things were going in a very smooth manner because we have technologies with us. So we have to understand AI is nothing but a type of a technology. It will assist us. Only you have to adapt with it. You cannot leave it saying that no, I don't want to use it, or I'm an expert of X subject and I'm a finance expert. Why should I use an AI? So no, it's not that. Everyone has to adapt with it the way we have learned the computer. So that is the only my say over it. So it is going to do the thing, but it will definitely make it quick over it. I think I have answered the query to the Anuj.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. There is one more question for Mr. Prince. The question is, what are the most important area we should focus for learning machine learning?
Uh, my idea on this would be that you start with the very fundamental areas that compound you and give you, most of the benefit. It's a very vast topic, to be very honest, and somebody just trying to, ingress into this problem statement will get lost if they are not right on the focus. Like I mentioned, problem framing, data thinking, these are the most important, very underrated, but very powerful. So if you know how to use ML projects, how do you model it, what kind of model do you need, don't get into the very depth of each of the model, their learning, their, how they were written, but how do you use they each more important. And for a very new privy who is trying to get into this, try to get your hands on with Python, Skisit, Pandas, and there will be way too number of NLP and LLM models that exist today. Good part is most of them are very open source in nature. Like you can go on Git, learn about it. Like I mentioned, you go on YouTube, just make the right search. You will have plenty of options for you. And now with all these notebook, Gemini, LLMs, Copilot, Cloud, I understand most of them are enterprise version also, but they are open source version also, which you can use for all the activities that you do. So you start using that, and then you will realize the capability of what these offers. Most important, just don't be theoretical in nature. While you study along with them, do a real-time project. Build a very simple app, and like I mentioned, build Instagram for that. Whatever app that you use the most in your application, go to your mobile, go to settings, which time has consumed most application. Just ask the AI to build it, see it in the feature, then you start using it along with your friends and family, and then you will see the kind of adoption that it has. That's what I will let my student know.
Yes. Thank you so much. There is just one more question. We spoke about ethical judgment. So there is just one more question in extension to what we discussed, which is there any standard ethical framework which we can follow for while implementing AI?
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's a framework of what do you do and how do you do, and the accountability of the context building. So the kind of bias awareness is more important, and the framework that we usually follow in every decision that we take is write it down on a very, tabular format of what is the pro, what is the cons, and we call it like non-functional requirement also at times. Sometimes it comes with the ethics, compliance, GDPR, and some of the government regulations also that has been put in place. Like you can't write a code which which is not data protected, for example, or which takes any kind of PII information from the customers that takes in account and puts in unencrypted way into the production. So some of the compliance, some of the regulatory information that we have, along with that, you have to be very strong in your ethical sense, like what the business logic that you are putting it with the AI, is it going to make any difference? What happens if it gets stolen? So how do you treat your personal belongings, like what is very core to your heart that you will never let it go away? It could be money, it could be your personality, it could be your parents, it could be sentiments, emotions, bonding, relationship, it could be anything. I mean, that is very core to you. So treat that ethicals awareness in the decision that you take, like be very close to this is something that I don't want to let it go because it will harm me. And the things that harms you probably will harm others also. While it will be more around the context, but have that, awareness of your brains every single time you take a decision with the AI. I think that's the framework that everybody should use, irrespective of which domain, which areas that they are in.
Absolutely. So I think what you've laid out for students is very simple, very easy, very relatable from their day-to-day lives. In fact, we just sent you a message on the chat also to share the names of the YouTube pages while the students are still here, and they can take a note of it, and they can then start following those pages, learn from it. Like you said, just be curious, keep experimenting, and do as much work on this as possible. I can't thank you both enough. This is a topic which is so interesting, and we always have a house full whenever we are doing a topic on AI. And students are always looking forward to beautiful insights from speakers like you who come with a wealth of experience and knowledge, and of course, from your own personal experience. So there is no greater words for me to express other than a big thanks to both of you for sharing this. We could have gone on and continue talking for at least another hour, I feel. But like we do have a certain time frame for this webinar, so we'll continue maybe in our next few webinar series also to talk with both of you and continue this discussion. I once again thank both of you uh, hugely for coming and talking about this topic, and being such a wonderful source of information and guidance and mentors to our student community, especially who are here with us and who are also watching live on YouTube. Neha, over to you for a closing note before we wrap up.
Thank you, Mekla. This was a very fruitful and enriching discussion. On behalf of the GHRDC team, I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to all the participants for taking out time to attend the webinar. A very sincere thanks to our panel of experts. Your presence has been invaluable and undoubtedly has made this webinar a great success. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much for having us. It was a great talking to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehrotra. Thank you, Prince. It was a pleasure having both of you, and we look forward to having both of you once again to talk about this very relevant, interesting topic. Thanks again.
Thank you, Megla, for inviting us, and I will thank Prince also for his inputs for the students. I think it must be useful for them. So, yeah, it is a topic of the day, and we have to adapt with it. That's what I want to say, so that it can really benefit all the. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Indeed. Thank you.